What is up, side hustlers, entrepreneurs, business builders, and dream makers? Welcome to the Sell Your Side Hustle Podcast, episode 61. So great to be back in your earbuds once again, as we are every single day work week. Guys, before we get into today's episode, where I have some exciting news, some actually very exciting news that I want to share with you, some stuff you're going to want to jump on, I want to let you know about some stuff that's going on in my life that is going to have an impact on this podcast. As you know, my desire and my goal is to do this podcast every single weekday at the bare minimum for a solid year before changing rhythms. And as you know, there was exactly one event so far this year where I was not able to do that, where I actually wasn't able to make an episode for a solid week. And that is because I traveled to Washington State and I thought I had prepared properly to be able to do this, and it turned out I didn't have everything that I needed to be able to do a travel podcast. Now, update is for next week. Next week, I will be traveling again, this time because there was a death in the family. I will be officiating the funeral, and I will be flying back to Washington again to do that. And that may very well interrupt the podcast, and I might not be able to do this every day next week. We'll find out. We'll play it by ear. I'm going to try for you, but I'm not going to make any promises or guarantees. We might just have to be flexible. We might have to roll with the punches, and we might have to move forward in that regard. So that does bring to the point that's kind of worth noting. I've told you many, many times how important my faith is to me, how everything I do on this planet is hopefully to the glory of God alone, that I am trying to help build his kingdom more than I'm trying to build my kingdom or your kingdoms. So I will be officiating the ceremony for the funeral. I'm an ordained minister. I got ordained to do one of my cousin's weddings, and so I'm also doing this. And that's some updates for you guys in that scope. So with that being said, just fair warning that it's very possible that we may not be able to meet every day next week. Actually, the day next week that we are least likely to have an episode is Friday. That is the day of the service. So probably will not be on air next Friday, would be my guess. But if it works out schedule wise, and if I can make it happen, I will shoot an episode for you guys because I'm dedicated to this podcast too. So with that being said, let's go ahead and shift into the exciting news that I wanted to share with you. First thing that I want to share with you is just an update on the experiment. I'm doing cold outreach into an 8x8 campaign, right? Cold LinkedIn outreach. So far, what I've found to seem to be the correct rhythm is that if I send about 50 friend requests or connection requests, that's what it is on LinkedIn, right? I send about 50 connection requests on LinkedIn. I will get about 10 people who accept it. And then from those 10, I found if I message everybody who accepted a connection request, it seems to be about three or four will respond to that. And so that gives me like a 20% connection request acceptance, and then about a 35% response to the initial message. And so what I'll be doing moving, and that's all the data I have so far. Too early to even know if that data is strong, but it's decent. I've sent 200 or so connection requests, so we have a decent scope of data. From there, I'm going to see if I send follow-up messages, what it's going to be. I'm working out the map for the messages. My goal is to send messages and connect with them and be able to get on like 15-minute meet and greet phone calls. And anybody who gets on a 15-minute meet and greet phone call, I will then start the 8x8 campaign with. And I'm hoping that I need to reverse engineer the numbers, because what I would like to do is get into a rhythm, whatever it takes to get into this rhythm, where I can be getting two to three, so 2.5 technically, people on one of those calls each week so that I can enter them into the 8x8 campaign. So if 3 or 4 people are responding to that initial message touch point, then I would need like 1 out of 8 to be willing to get on a call with me and actually show up to the call. In order for the numbers to work out there, I might have to send more connection requests, but I'm just sharing with you the data as I'm learning it and discovering it. But that's the hope, is that, a friendly meet and greet with no sales pitch. If they ask, I'll tell them what I do, talk to them about their ministry, talk to them about what they do. And that's the process in that regard. The other thing that I want to share with you guys is a very exciting opportunity that I'm going to be presenting to the people inside my Facebook group, maybe my email list, maybe my Facebook audience. But this idea just kind of came to me, and if it gets good response, then I'll definitely be doing it. Marketers always say that you got to charge people if you want them to take something seriously. Right. If you don't charge for it, people won't take it seriously. They'll take advantage of it. They won't use it, and they won't get results. And therefore, it's not fair to them to not charge them, is what marketers will say. And then there's a lot of people who are in that like bottom echelon, right? Who are struggling to make ends meet, who want to start a business, they want to break out, and they are in this mindset and this belief. They're like, if somebody just gave me a chance, somebody just gave me an opportunity, I could turn my life around. I just need that opportunity. I need somebody who's willing to take that chance on me. And they don't feel that they have the ability to invest any money in that. Now, my belief is, generally speaking, if you're not willing to invest in yourself, why should anybody take the time? But I am curious about that claim that if you don't charge them, it's doing them a disservice. So I'm running an experiment, and you might want to take advantage of this experiment. Or I should say, I might be running an experiment. It's going to be based on response, how many people are interested in it, because I'm not going to do it unless I can start with a bare minimum of at least 30 people. If you're curious as to why, then you should watch the episode labeled N30 principle. That's why I need at least 30. Okay. So what it's going to be, we're going to do a 10-week class where I'm going to literally walk people through launching their business. We're going to do this by meeting for 2 hours once a week over the course of 10 weeks. There's no e-course portion to this. It's all live. There will be no recordings. It's all live. If somebody misses 2 classes, they will be kicked out of the program. If somebody fails to do the homework twice, they will be kicked out of the program. What is their homework? It's doing the things they need to do to build their business. So every class, I'm going to tell you, this is what you need to get done so we can move forward. If they don't do it, they'll be kicked out. Okay? If more than 1/3 of the class gets kicked out, then the class will be closed. So that's a way of knowing that there's consequences for your action, not only to you, but to the other people in the program. I'm doing this for free. And so I need you to be committed and take it seriously so that we can prove all of the gurus wrong. And that's why I'm being so strict, because I'm doing this for you. I'm taking my time and I'm investing my time, and I'm not going to drop the ball. And so I need you to not drop the ball. In 10 weeks, I dropped the ball once, maybe once, possibly, which is why I'm going to give you one chance as well. It's fair. And then, in those 10 weeks, who knows, maybe you go in the program, it's 100% free, there's no risk to you. Then you go through this program and you go, wow, this is so incredible. And maybe it turns your life around, right? So here's what I need you to do. If you are interested in joining this 100% free program, click on the link in the description. That is a link to a 15-minute conversation with me. It's going to be a 15-minute Zoom call. In that 15 minutes, we'll have a conversation about what this program looks like. By the way, if you're going to ask, I don't know right now, because it's going to be dependent on if enough people are interested. I don't know when it's going to start. I think maybe August 1st. And I don't know when the class session will be. Don't know yet. Because if I can't get enough people to say, yes, I'm interested, I want to do this, then I'm not going to care about the logistics. I'm not going to figure it out. But if you're interested, you're like, I would love to do this if I'm able, then I will take 15 minutes out of my day to have a conversation with you about that. And I will make a note to keep you updated on once all the logistics are figured out. And if you know anybody who's interested, give them the link so they can talk to me for 15 minutes too. That's all I got for you guys today. Love you so much. God bless.